Namaste everyone. So today we are having full moon in Mula Nakshatra. So that is quite special full moon that we are experiencing today, and I am sure that many of you also have felt this energy, how it was strongly accumulating when moon was actually approaching Mula Nakshatra, because in Mula Nakshatra also Shani or Saturn retrograde is dwelling now. So that was in general not such an easy month for many of you, I'm sure, and many of you will also say that it was not such an easy month in general, because first of all we have experienced summer solstice, right? So the accumulation of the strong solar energy, strong fiery energy. Mars and Ketu are also occupying Shravana Nakshatra, a very watery nakshatra, and kind of drying up its potential. And usually the day in the month when the fluids and the watery energy are kind of the most powerful is during full moon. But guess what? During this exact full moon, moon is actually going to be conjunct with Saturn. And Saturn is always drying up, while moon is watery. This is why moon and Saturn don't go that well together actually, because Saturn is drying up the nourishing potential of the moon. Also, this full moon is actually happening in the sign of Sagittarius, which is considered to be one of the most dry signs of the zodiac. It's devoid of water and is also a fiery sign. So many of us might have felt quite exhausted, tired, dried up during these exact transits, during this exact time period, with, in a way, lack of nourishment, you know? Lack of feeling of this nourishing energy, this fluid energy of the water, because the water was literally very much dried up, and many of people might have literally felt, you know, that they need to actually drink more water or drink more fluids during this time period. Some people might have gone literally dehydrated. So this was definitely a little bit tough time period. But this very dry energy, the energy of the wind, the energy of the fire, what it is actually doing is causing, you know, some sort of transformation, is pushing us stronger and a little bit more powerful towards leaving our past behind and opening up for the new lessons. So this is a very specific lesson from full moon in Mula Nakshatra, because Mula Nakshatra is the star of the roots. Mula literally means the roots, but its power is to unroot things. So it's all about unrooting the outdated beliefs. It's all about unrooting the things from the past which do not serve us anymore and leaving the past behind. Because Mula Nakshatra is also Gandanta Nakshatra, right? So it's about some very powerful transformation happening here. And it's not an easy transformation, because it's transformation from Guna of Tamas, right? From the Tamasic signs into Sattvic. So it's definitely not an easy transformation happening here. And many of us might have experienced also, as moon was slowly moving, you know, and slowly becoming fuller and fuller and reaching towards Mula Nakshatra, that many things from the past might have come back to us. Some memories, some reminiscences. Some of us might have got also similar illnesses like in the past. Or some very similar issues came back again. And these issues, or however you're experiencing that, is not to be ignored. We need to really embrace our roots, embrace our past and forgive it completely, but also learn our mistakes and simply move forward. Saturn and full moon conjunct in Mula Nakshatra are also bringing us a very powerful lesson to actually rise above the imagination of our mind and see the truth, you know. That's not such an easy thing, because during full moon our imaginative and creative powers are at its fullest, you know, because moon feels very powerful, moon feels very creative, very fertile during full moon. But Saturn, on the other hand, is the planet who always, you know, is about looking down, looking towards the reality, all about grounding. So it's a little conflict here, you know, between what we imagine about the world and what is the truth. And here Saturn and full moon coming together, they're actually trying to inspire us during this exact transit, so we actually reevaluate what is actually the truth for us. What are these roots of our life? What is the foundation on which we are building our life? What is the actual center of our life? Because you see, Mula Nakshatra is actually a galactic center, right? So it's a super massive black hole. This is how you can imagine it. And this supermassive black hole, it was many times said, even Sri Yukteswar himself said, that this exact black hole, which is the center of our galaxy, is actually Vishnu Nabi, or the navel of Vishnu, you know, the navel of Narayana, from whom the entire creation has sprouted. So it's like God himself, you know. And this is a very specific thing about Mula Nakshatra, that it sometimes, you know, snatches some things away from us. Sometimes it snatches health away from us. Sometimes it snatches finances away from us, you know, or some of our relations. So we may re-evaluate again, like, what is the truth? What is the reality? Is it this world of the illusion, or is there something more? If we are going to dig for the roots of our existence, is there something more? This is what Mula Nakshatra really tries to inspire us towards, to understand that we should never put in the center of our life all these material things, but instead we should always put the divine in the center of our life, because only then, you know, the entire life of ours is going to actually circulate very healthily, you know. So that's a very special thing, because you know, Mula Nakshatra is so strongly connected with this story how Brahma, the creator, emanated from the navel of Vishnu, and Brahma is actually also the devata connected to the moon himself. So Brahma, or moon, or our mind, is the creator, and now moon, full moon in Mula Nakshatra, is this creator who is a little bit confused about his own origin, you know. He's not ready to create yet. He firstly needs to understand where he is at all, because he's facing only darkness. This is what Brahma faced in the beginning of creation. He saw only darkness in all directions, like looking directly into this supermassive black hole. But then he dived into his own root, into the roots of the lotus flower on which he was sitting, to understand his origin, because he wanted to know, who am I? What am I doing here? From where did I come? And where am I heading? And these 4 questions, my Guru Dev always says that these are 4 most important questions in life, which each person should ask oneself frequently. Because only then you will make sure that you're heading towards the right direction. When you know who you are, from where you came from, what you're doing here, and where you're heading. And don't be satisfied with small answers for the questions, you know. But try to understand deeper of what is your true nature, because this is how you'll proceed farther, where you'll actually get your creative power again, like Brahma himself. This is where you will be able to create the reality you want in your life, when you'll finally understand, like, what is the root cause of any problem you face in your life, and who you truly are. Because only then you can proceed with integrity. So this full moon in Mula Nakshatra definitely dedicate some time for meditation during this time period, to root yourself, ground yourself, and open up for the truth, for seeing why certain things happen in your life, why certain karmic lessons come back again and again. Because Saturn retrograde, he brings these karmic lessons again and again into our life. This is what he's doing exactly now. Not only Saturn retrograde, but even Mula Nakshatra is the star of karmic depths. And if we don't want to repeat these karmic lessons over and over again, we need to finally understand what is the cause of that, learn on our mistakes, and move forward. So that is the main lesson coming now from Saturn conjunct with Mula Nakshatra and Saturn conjunct with full moon, together, all of them. So that is just literally a little bit about Saturn and full moon conjunct in Mula Nakshatra from me. And definitely, if you want to know a little bit more in general about the phases of the moon and how they're influencing us, you can purchase my ebook, Journey with the Moon, or join me on my Patreon community, where we are having bi-monthly webinars on the topic of tithis, nakshatras, planets, and all other fascinating topics in Vedic astrology. So, thank you so much for your attention. Namaste.